Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to get through this thing called life. Electric word life, it means forever, and that's a mighty long time, but I'm here to tell you, there's something else. The afterworld. A world of never-ending happiness. You can always see the sun, day or night. So when you call up that shrink in Beverly Hills, you know the one, Dr. Everything will be alright. Instead of asking him how much of your time is left, ask him how much of your mind, baby. Because in this life, things are much harder than in the afterworld. In this life, you're on your own. And if the elevator tries to bring you down, go crazy. Punch a higher floor. Once again, we go where Guy Fieri tells us. And this time, it's the Nook for a Juicy Lucy. Well, sometimes you just need a good burger and fries, and today just happened to be one of those days. I had the Paul Molitor, which is a Juicy Lucy with some pepper jack cheese, plenty of napkins, which is necessary for all the ooey gooey goodness. That was really good. I spit a little. That was really, really good. Now we gather up this crew and we go get to work. We are lost. Okay, we figured it out. Well, what is up, my crew? We will call this the official welcome to St. Paul, Minnesota. How do you forget the state? You remember the city, but you remember the state. We are in the XL Energy Center. I think that's right. Anyway, this is a nice big hockey arena where the Minnesota Wild of the NHL play. And as usual, we've had to kind of fit our thing into what they do. And we're in kind of a tight spot, but we made it work. We've got everything in, everything's wired up and fired up, and now the busy work gets started so that we can have everything ready for tomorrow. Also, coffee. Okay, so as day one comes to a close, here's a few things that I'm happy about. One, we just had a quick short flight and got to stay in the same time zone. I love that. Got here in plenty of time to get a bite to eat, get everything set up. It's still fairly early and we're about done with day one. The internet is finally working. We had some issues today and couldn't seem to get the internet working, and I got files I got to download and things that I have to have for this city. It's all remedied now. Good flight, good lunch, good crew, good work, good day. Oh, just like on the Millennium Falcon or something. Aren't you always amazed at how vloggers have this uncanny ability to walk into a hotel room and find a camera rolling there for them? It's a special elite group that I'm just glad to be a part of. Okay, well, how cool is this? We are 3 floors up over 7th Street here in St. Paul at a restaurant called Louis, where it's supposed to be pretty cool. Good Italian food, decent prices, and a heck of a view on a beautiful night here in St. Paul, Minnesota. I'm gonna have to rave about Louis. That was some killer food. Grilled chicken with like a blackening spice on it. The vegetables had a killer char with like some balsamic prosciutto on the sandwich. Crispy, delicious. All this to say, really good fork in the road. Now we're trying to find a grocery store. How pretty was that? You're welcome. Sometimes Walmart is scary. This is one of those times. We have changed our minds. This is the sketchiest freaking Walmart I have ever seen. We're gonna go. This is us getting groceries. Take two. Leo says this is at least 12 times better. I'm on board with that. Yeah. I know we make travel look so glamorous. So glamorous. Well, this dandy day has come to a close. And I don't know why I feel like I always need to put a capper on each day, but we're gonna call this one, day one, done. Well, done.
Finito. Done.
Did I mention it's a walking city? Hashtag walking city with a little drizzle. I like that. That was kind of epic. Wouldn't you love to walk into any place like that on any given day and the door's just like,
Oh, wait, do it again.
huh?
Do it again.
Harmony. Oh, Snoopy, if I could only be as footloose and fancy-free as you. Well, this seemed like such a dandy spot for Friday morning at the venue thoughts. And today I have a little thought and a big thought. A little thought is somewhat easy, but it's something I feel I need to harp on, if only for myself. And that is, have a system for writing stuff down. I've actually shifted to keeping a little Moleskine with me, always have a pen. And what I have noticed in the last few weeks since I've been carrying this with me everywhere I go is how quick it's become a good habit. Quick idea, write it down. Quick idea, write it down. I don't know if you're like me, but I have these times where I'm like, oh, there's a cool thought, I'll remember that. And then I don't. This is so good for all creative endeavors. Write stuff down. And then on to my big thought, which I'm going to consult this because it's where I'm keeping my notes exactly about this idea. And I can boil it down to this. It's the want to, the get to, and the have to. Stay with me. When I first started doing video production 30 years ago, I was doing it as a volunteer for public access TV. When some of my friends were out playing in softball leagues or maybe going bowling, I would go and shoot high school football games. That was my thing. And I absolutely loved it. And I remember about the third year mark, we had just finished a football game, and a great friend and who's been a mentor to me to this day, we were just kind of standing around after the gig, and I said to him, Jonathan, I want to do this. This is the thing that just absolutely fires me up. This is what I want. And he had some great insights for me, some warnings about what I would deal with, and some insights into how I might get a leg up on some other people. But it took a little while. It took some doing. It took a lot of grunt work. But here I am, 30 years later, doing what I want to do. The thing I think about, and I think you should too, is what happens when your want to becomes your have to. This isn't just what I want to do now, it's what I have to do to make a living. And I think that's where drudgery can set in. And I think so much of that just comes down to perspective. And so when the road hours get long, when the shows get tedious, when the work becomes a little bit boring, it's about perspective. I don't say that this is what I have to do. I say this is what I get to do. And I get to do it in places all over the country. I've been to I don't know, maybe a dozen places all over the world doing what I want to do. And I hope that that gives you some perspective on whatever your to-do list is. Maybe you have to put stuff into a category. Is this what I want to do? Is this what I get to do? Is this what I have to do? Just keep a healthy perspective, because what a privilege it is to get to do the very thing that you always wanted to do. It occurs to me that we got through all of day one and never went to see Leo in Leoland. It's Leoland. Oh wait, okay.
Oh, hi.
I believe he's ready now. Well, the morning things are done. The morning things are checked. We're gonna go get a bite to eat, if we can get out. We seem to have an electrical unit, no big deal. What are you supposed to think when you got water pouring out of what seems to be an electric junction box? How bad could it be? Dude said it's raining, so we went for umbrellas, and I switched to the GoPro. So now we'll see if we can get out of here. Kind of feel like a real Midwesterner. It's a little chilly, it's raining, but I'm wearing shorts. Cassetas. I think it's just cassetta. Really good. That meatball sub. Neat place. Just a lot of cool variety. Good food. I'm pretty sure that I've never actually talked about this in any of my 72-hour videos, but one of the most exciting parts of my job out here on the road is actually marking a clear path for the performers from wherever their dressing room is to the stage to make sure that they can get there safely and efficiently. Just be ready to be impressed here. I know it's probably weird to call that part of my job, but it is. It's just one of the little things that I do to help this show keep rolling.
2 hours later.
Nice to have some time to refresh, chill a little bit before things get started. Tried to rest, but man, do we have a nice little thunderstorm going on here in St. Paul. But now it's time to head back to the venue. Try to safely cross this street and get back at it. A caffeinated crew is a happy crew. All right, well, look at all these amazing people making their way into the arena. Some of these folks waited out in the rain to get in here. That means that night number 1 is about to kick off, and it's going to be awesome. Well, that was a really good night. As usual, things were just hopping. I'm really hoping for a better night's sleep. I think on one of these trips I may do what I would just call the anatomy of a hotel bedroom and why it doesn't work for me. Another time. We get back at it in the morning and it'll be done. Day 3. We've got such a short commute, I don't even know if I'm gonna put on my seatbelt.
Living dangerous.
I'm crazy. A segment I may do in the future, I would title, "Just 'Cause It's Free Doesn't Mean It's Worth Having." Case in point, breakfast at a Hampton Inn. The regret has already set in. So we got 2 sessions to knock out. One this morning, one earlier this afternoon, and then we actually get to go home tonight. And it's strange that that's like not normal anymore. We seem to always, most of the time, have to stay and go home on Sunday morning. So I'll take it. This begs the question, why don't I do this more often? Welcome to a semi-returning segment called Adventures in Concessions. Let's see what kind of offerings we have here in St. Paul. We'll see if this is the end of the video. If I die. Something. We got to come up with a better scheme for Saturday lunches. All right, lunch has been had. We will rock this last session and pack this all up, send it on down the road to Hershey, Pennsylvania in about 3 weeks. All right, a right dandy weekend here in St. Paul. Haven't done one of my magic tricks for Strike in a long time. So this is the before, and that is the after. Wow, what a rockin' Strike and loadout. What an amazing IATSE crew. I love it when the guys are just all over it. This might have been the best loadout we've had all year. St. Paul, thank you. All of our stuff is in that truck right there. And we get to leave. And like I mentioned before, we get to go home tonight. I get to sleep in my own bed on a Saturday night. Oh, I'm looking forward to that.